during the first centuries. And we have thousands of martyrs of our church from those years, even up to the present time. One of them was St. George. Miraculously, I can say, the late Patriarch Petros, when I was serving as the Archbishop in Zimbabwe, he requested me to write the history of the Patriarchate of Alexandria, which I did. It took me some time, and at the same, he invited me to go and spend 3 months in Egypt, specifically in the monastery of St. George. And it is a very historic place, not only for the history of the Patriarchate, but also for the history of the whole church, because it was in that monastery that St. George was in prison. The prison is still there. Today the prison is a small chapel. They are celebrating the divine services inside that prison. And up to this present day, they are keeping the chains. You know, St. George was arrested and he was in that prison, so they are still keeping those chains. And the people come from all over the world to venerate and to kiss the chains and also the miraculous icons which are there of St. George, and the relics, of course. They are all there in that monastery of St. George. So my first impression and my first acquaintance with that monastery, for me it was very strange to see that every morning and every evening during the services, the church was full of Muslims, believe it or not. Imagine, Muslims. There were, of course, Christians, but the majority of the people who were attending those services, they were Muslims. And I asked the abbot of the monastery, what is going on here? Why do we have all these Muslims every day in our services? Young people, students, middle-aged, old people, they were coming. And the abbot explained to me, St. George is really a miraculous saint. Although they are Muslims, they are coming here and they are praying, they are bringing even offerings to St. George, and St. George is performing miracles. That is why the news were spread all over that there is a Christian place named under St. George, and that St. George is performing miracles. So they were coming, they were venerating the holy icon, they were kissing the chain of St. George, and miracles were taking place. So sometimes we are confused because we might say, how come that St. George is performing miracles to non-Orthodox? This is how we believe, and this is how we are thinking. But you see, we cannot ourselves judge or read the minds of God and the minds of the holy men and women. It is there, I'm telling you. And the other day, when I met the ambassador of Jordan and his wife, they were telling me exactly the same story about St. George, because also in Jordan there is a miraculous icon of St. George. And you know, Jordan is a Muslim country, purely Muslim. There are Christians, of course, the Arab speaking there, but they are St. George is performing a lot of miracles. So brothers and fathers, let us take this message of today, that the holy martyrs are here with us, and they are listening to our requests and supplications, and they are there for us, and they are there to perform their miracles. Let us pray that St. George will open new ways for each and everybody of us, because hearing really as one of the many martyrs of those centuries, the beginning of Christianity, St. George remains, and he is very, very famous all over the world. And so many people, especially in our eastern countries, in the east, in the Mediterranean there are so many cathedrals named after St. George, and also the name given to so many people of our church. So let us ask St. George to intercede for us, the sinners, and take our messages